Well, there's still time to get some good summer reading in if you'd like. And Akashic Books has put out a series. I don't know if you've heard of it, but they're noir short stories, crime stories. And they feature different areas around the country, around the world, in fact. Well, now it's Tampa Bay's turn. Tampa Bay Noir features some of our amazing writers, best-selling writers from our Tampa Bay area, including Lisa Unger. She's here with us, and also Colette Bancroft. Of course, she is Tampa Bay Times book editor and a talented editor and writer as well. She has a story. Great to see both of you, ladies.
Good to see you.
Great to see you, Roxanne.
So what is this project all about, Tampa Bay Noir? Colette, starting with you, you put this all together.
I did. I'd seen the other noir books, and I knew the publisher at Akashic a little bit, and so I wrote a proposal to do a Tampa Bay noir, and they accepted it. And so I had to recruit 14 authors who either live here or have lived here, and ask them for new stories that hadn't been published before that were set in different parts of the Tampa Bay area. And it's taken, I think, altogether about 1.5 years to put the whole project together, but it's really been a lot of fun. And it was easy in the sense that we have so many good writers around here that, you know, I could have had an anthology with 50 short stories.
Right, we sure do. So it features authors like Michael Connelly, Lisa as well. And so I ask both of you this question. You know, it's fun when you read a story that focuses on an area you're very familiar with. And it's a fun question to think about. If you're going to write a crime story, what area of Tampa Bay would you write about? And for both of you, what areas did you select and why?
Lisa?
Well, I selected Caladesi Island, the tip of North Clearwater Beach. It is one of my favorite places in the universe. It's such a gorgeous sort of living beach. And, you know, of course, my imagination always goes to the dark side. So the more I love something and the more beautiful I think it is, the more I'm always looking for the shadow. So this really gave me the opportunity to explore that area of Florida, which is very meaningful to me, and just kind of dive into, you know, what kind of dark and, you know, twisted things might happen, you know, when possible.
Very cool. What about for you, Colette?
My story is set in the neighborhood in Tampa that I grew up in. My family moved there when I was a little kid, and it's a neighborhood called Rattlesnake. And these days people aren't that familiar with the name, but it's the area around West Shore and Gandy. And for many years it was called that. There used to be a Rattlesnake post office near the corner of West Shore and Gandy. And just because I'm familiar with that area, that's where I decided to set the story.
When we think about writing, especially noir writing in Florida, oftentimes we think of areas that are focused on more so South Florida or maybe the Panhandle. And our Tampa Bay area gets left out a little bit, but we have some quirkiness and some edge to us as well. What else can we expect from the book that exposes this?
Well, the stories take place all around Tampa Bay in neighborhoods all over Hillsborough and Pinellas counties, and they deal with everything from murder. There's several people die in this book, quite a few, in fact, to family, dark family secrets, fraud. Ace Atkins' story, for example, has to do with a fraudster, a guy who takes advantage of women. And it sort of reminded me a little of some of Elmore Leonard's stories. It's funny in a dark sort of way, all sorts of things.
Very cool. And we've talked about this before. I had the pleasure of interviewing both of you on the radio as well. But I love your answers for the secret to a good crime story.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, I think the secret to a good crime story, and maybe any story, is that character is king. Mm-hmm. All of these stories really delve very deeply into character, and, you know, there is this sort of idea of the, you know, the Florida man, or, you know, kind of the, you know, the dark sort of trickster type personality that operates in Florida. So there's a lot of diving into that, but just into character in general. Like, that's what makes any story great, is, you know, that you could be very involved with the plot, but if you're not involved with the people in the stories, then I don't think as a reader you can be as involved. So all these stories are very character driven and very, very much so a deep dive into what makes us tick.
It is so much fun too when you get into a great story and you're saying, hey, I know that place. I recognize that area. That makes it fun. I have to ask too, as we wrap things up, all about the event that's coming up to launch Tampa Bay Noir.
Yes, that's coming up on August 4th, which is a Tuesday. We're doing it with TAMPA Books in St. Petersburg. And you can go to their website, which I think is tambalobooks.com, to sign up. I will be doing the event with Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. And also a couple of the other contributors, Sterling Watson and Gail Massey. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's not 2 years ago how I pictured launching a book, but I think we'll have fun with it.
That sounds great. And Colette, I have to tell you, when I spoke with Lisa separately earlier in the week, she said, when Colette calls and asks me anything, I jump, I do it. So that's a good thing, right? Lisa, anything.
She's been so terrific supporting this book. And I can't, Lisa, once we can do it again, I really need to take you someplace for a big, fabulous dinner.
I will look forward to that very much, very much.
Well, we look forward to reading Tampa Bay Noir. Thank you so much, ladies. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Thanks, Roxanne.
We'll be back with more on Morning Blend.